Hey everybody, it's Amy back at the Hub, and I am here with our adaptive yoga student, Elaine. Thanks for coming in, Elaine.
Fun.
She has graciously agreed to come in and be in the hot seat with me for a little bit. And we're going to show you some stuff too in another segment. But I thought we'd get started first by just taking some time to get to know Elaine and picking her brain a little bit. So again, thanks for coming, Elaine.
My joy.
So my first question is, well, first of all, how long have you been coming to my yoga class?
I didn't know that
You knew I was going to ask that.
2, 4, something like that years.
2, 4. Seems like forever, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's a real comfortable number.
Okay. So what made you, or what brought you to the yoga class? What made you take that plunge into actually showing up at the door? Because one of the things we know with our adaptive yoga classes is sometimes just simply getting people into the door is the hardest part. So what made you take the plunge?
I saw some specials on TV with Matthew, and I had been a yoga student a lot of years before, and then I got whammo big time sick, and I just thought, no, PT is my life now, and there isn't going to be anything like that. And then when I saw, there is, I could, maybe that looks like, and I called, and it sure sounded like, yeah, I could go. And when I got here, I saw people who have all sorts of stuff, and it's all okay, and it's not just okay, it's fun. It's just a gas. The other students are fine.
Oh, good. Well, we're glad you decided to take the plunge. So you said that you felt like PT was your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a lot of PT in the last few years, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with a neuromuscular disease. Don't know if we want to get into that.
Sure. If you're comfortable talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, called myasthenia gravis, and the two biggies is it makes me easily fatigued and very weak, and so there's lots of many things I can't do, and the world is divided into I think I can, but that was, and then I want to, and is time frame. I still can't quite get my body identified with what I can do now.
So you saw yourself as having a future of here goes PT is my life. Why yoga? Why was it not enough just to continue with PT?
Want to be normal. I want to be what I was. I want to be. Plus, yoga is wonderful. And I used to go to a regular kind of class, and it was fun, and I was good and felt great. And I don't really like being a clinical example all the time. I'm not complaining. I got a lot from PT. It's been great.
Yeah.
It taught me how to walk. It taught me how to get out of bed. It taught me a lot of things. But now I'm ready for. Plus, yoga puts together the body things, the getting out of bed kind of things, with my spiritual self, emotional self. It's not just technical. Put this leg there and that leg here.
So do you think that you're bringing your yoga into your everyday life then?
Oh, yeah.
So how do you do that? I mean, you talked about the getting out of bed thing. What else? How does yoga enter into your everyday life?
Well, sometimes I actually try to do a bit at home. I mean, there's discipline I have from way back when. Like I get up off the floor every day, and that's not trivial.
I know that's not trivial for sure, but it's such an important skill, and we talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's other things, like I come back from yoga feeling exhilarated from your class, and And then I notice that this or that hurts. I think, oh, okay, maybe I better work on this or that. And so I do what I can remember of this or that. I don't do a whole continuum routine. But I know that if my arms are bad overhead, okay, I'm not supposed to judge, but my arms are bad overhead, then I get up, and when I go to the bathroom, then I stretch against the door frame. And then I go the thread up the head and the whole thing. And
So you really bring your yoga home with you.
I guess so, yep.
Yeah, you really do. So when you first came to class, now you had a yoga practice before. So coming to yoga for you was coming back to something that you
Yeah.
loved, that you had done before, which is different than some of our students. What was surprising? Was there anything surprising in coming back to yoga or coming to the adaptive class? What surprised you?
Well, all the can'ts. I mean, I can't do this. Dang, I thought I could. Dang, she's going to be impressed with me. You, no, I'm going to be impressed with, I can't. And then when I saw the other students and we shared who we were medically, it was like, okay, I'm really comfortable amongst these people. And we're happy that we see each other, happy that we show up. It's just a joy to know each other, I think.
So there's something, I always say there's something special that happens in a yoga class besides the poses. What is that?
It's the smile from somebody else who can't or didn't do what we were supposed to, or who did. And it's friendship. It's one time you're really a good teacher, very good teacher, and you're doing these wonderful demonstrations of things. And you told us what we're going to do next. And this is here and that's there, and we're going to do this. And a student from across the room just said quietly, no. And we all,
Or not so quietly, but yes.
And I think you know who it was. She just said no. And you give us persistent permission to just no. And you laughed. We all laughed at that no. But it was like there's no emphasis on perfecting a pose. It's about us. Boy. And it isn't even about us doing our body. And it isn't even about us breathing. It's, boy, I'm getting kind of existential.
It's okay to be existential because there's something that very, very powerfully happens in a yoga class that almost goes beyond words.
Yes.
You know, and so I guess I would say, is that what keeps you coming back? What keeps an adaptive yoga student coming back? Because what's amazing, especially now, it's winter in Minnesota right now, and it's icy in Minnesota and cold in Minnesota, and sometimes I'm amazed I can barely get to class. And I come to class, and sure enough, my adaptive students all come filing in. What keeps you coming back, even when it's really hard to get here some days?
Well, I wasn't here this week.
I noticed that, but that's okay. You're here today.
The flip answer is I need it, and I'm a lot better afterwards. And I need not just what you give us. I need to be in this community, and it's fun. And I'm 77, and if I stayed home, I'd be an old lady who with disability sitting at home doing her knitting. That's no good.
That's not you.
No.
No.
So yeah, it's a gift that I could find this thing to do. I have gone to other yoga classes, and it's just way beyond my competence. And the attitude of the instructor is, I think, kind of judgmental.
Mm.
And one time I went to one class that wasn't bad, but then a substitute came around and she had hand weights, and somebody objected and said, "We don't use weights here." And she said, "I know, but I'm teaching today and we do." And I thought, oh, you don't know. It's so hard for me to get my arms over my head. And you want 2 pounds on top of that? No, I don't think so. I think it's easy to judge. It's just really easy to judge if you're not in that position. If the teacher thought 2 pounds is not that big a deal. Right. And I'm thinking 2 arms is that big a deal.
Too much, too much. Well, we're going to continue our conversation with Elaine, so stay tuned for another segment, and we'll just keep talking about all things adaptive yoga.